recommendations to move forward.
Firstly, we recommend retaining the Canada Revenue Agency Charities Directorate's role in regulating charities under the Income Tax Act. This regulatory function is narrow, but important, and would benefit from further sector input. We recommend reinstating and re-empowering the Sector Advisory Committee that reported to the Minister of National Revenue on regulatory issues. This committee would have an important role in leading change through the forthcoming amendments to the Income Tax Act. Secondly, we recommend that the Government of Canada also explore the use of regulatory sandboxes to test further changes to the regulatory framework. In a regulatory sandbox, the regulator applies a different set of rules to a small number of organizations for a limited period. The regulator observes its sample and learns by lived experience how the regulated use the new rules. A regulatory sandbox would let the government test proposals like the destination of funds test, for example, without difficult-to-reverse and sector-wide changes. Thirdly, we propose that the Tax Court of Canada be designated as the first point of appeal for Canada Revenue Agency decisions rather than the Federal Court of Appeal, as Dr. Chan discussed. Many sector leaders agree that this approach would improve access to justice for nonprofit and charitable organizations and increase the number of appeals, which would provide more legal cases for the Canada Revenue Agency to use as guidance on compliance issues. Fourth, we propose the creation of a permanent enabling body within the Privy Council office that aligns with a recommendation for an Office for Social Innovation that was put forward by the Social Innovation and Social Finance Strategy. This office would assist with policy coordination and meaningful engagement with the sector and advance an outcomes-driven approach across all of government, rather than aligning with the policy priorities of a specific department. The National Social Innovation and Social Finance Strategy also recommended a Social Innovation Council to advise the office on its direction and strategic priorities. We think this council would be the ideal table for the sector to advise the federal government in its role as an enabler, and propose this as our fifth recommendation. We recommend that the office and council's role be defined in legislation to make them less vulnerable to changes in political priorities. Our final recommendation focuses on investing in sector infrastructure. The sector's many umbrella organizations have an important role in self-regulating, in addition to the regulatory function we discussed, facilitating collaboration and leading change. We propose that the federal government reinstate funding for sector capacity building, research, technology, training, and collaboration. We encourage you to consider this study as an opportunity to help the sector fulfill its enormous potential, rather than focusing only on the deficits, shortcomings, and legislative and regulatory gaps. Thank you for your time and attention. Lisa and I would be pleased to answer any questions you may have.
Well, thank you both.